you would have seen various markings and signs on the site. Do you know what they mean? Let's learn. The first sign you would see is the electrical high voltage sign. It tells you that there is a potential shock hazard and you must wear the relevant PPE to protect yourself. Do you know what specific PPE is required? When you see the electrical high voltage sign, you must make sure you are wearing your electrical safety gloves, industrial shoes and safety goggles. The second sign you would see is the working at height sign. You would see two different signs here. One, which tells you to protect yourself when working at a height, as you could fall from the roof. The other tells you that people are working at a height, and you must be careful of falling objects, as they can hit you on the head, and the resultant injuries can be fatal. Do you know what specific PPE is required when you see this sign? You need to make sure you are wearing your helmet. Also, if you are working at a height, make sure you have your lanyards attached to the harness. Let's try a short quiz. When you see the high voltage sign, what PPE will you specifically require? Choose the correct answer from the options given below. When you see the high voltage sign, make sure you are wearing insulated gloves, safety goggles and industrial shoes. Another sign you will see is the fire hazard sign. You will typically see this in places where flammable material has been stored. When you see this sign, make sure you don't do any hot work, such as welding, grinding, etc. in this area. So, where will you do welding work? Well, all hot work, such as welding, grinding, cutting, torching or anything that has the potential to produce a flame, spark or heat, shall be done in the hot work area only. You will need a permit to work in such areas. So, what specific PPE do you think is required for this? When you work in the hot work area, make sure you are wearing your safety goggles, safety gloves, helmet, welding helmet, leather apron, and safety boots. Now if you injure yourself and need a first aid kit, you will see it represented by this sign. Location of this would be different for every site. Another important sign you must be aware of is this emergency contact numbers list. Location of this too would be different for every site. This will consist of numbers like doctor, ambulance, fire, etc. Let's try a short quiz. When you see the fire hazard sign, you must not do any hot work in that area. Is the following statement true or false? This is true. To summarize, the electrical high voltage sign tells you that there is a potential shock hazard. The working at height sign tells you that you need to protect yourself when working at a height, and you need to be careful of falling objects. The fire hazard sign tells you that there are flammable materials present and you must not do any hot work in this area. The first aid sign shows you where to find the first aid supplies. And the emergency contact sign shows you where the list of emergency contact numbers are. You have successfully completed this video.